The night was cold, the streets deserted except for a few flickering streetlights that cast eerie shadows on the pavement. Olivia, a young woman in her late 20s, was walking home after a long shift at the hospital. She clutched her coat tightly around her body, her breath visible in the chilly air. The distant sound of sirens echoed through the city, but the silence of her surroundings was unsettling. As she turned into a dimly lit alley, she felt an odd sensation, as if someone was watching her. Her heart pounded. She quickened her pace, her boots clicking against the pavement. That's when she noticed it. A stray dog with piercing amber eyes, its matted fur barely visible in the darkness. It stood in the middle of the alley, blocking her path. At first, Olivia hesitated. The dog didn't growl or bare its teeth. Instead, it stared at her intently, almost as if trying to communicate something. She took a step forward, but the dog let out a low whimper and suddenly darted toward her, nudging her leg aggressively. Olivia stumbled backward, confused and slightly afraid. Then she heard it, footsteps behind her. Her blood ran cold. She turned her head slightly and saw a shadow lurking behind a dumpster. A tall, hooded figure emerged, moving toward her with slow, deliberate steps. Olivia's breath hitched as panic surged through her veins. Before she could react, the stray dog sprang into action. With an ear-splitting snarl, the dog lunged at the attacker, its sharp teeth sinking into the man's arm. A scream of pain pierced the night as the stranger tried to shake the dog off, but it held on with unwavering determination. Olivia didn't waste a second. She grabbed her phone and dialed 911, her fingers trembling. The struggle continued, but the dog refused to back down. Finally, the attacker shoved the dog away and bolted into the darkness, disappearing into the shadows. The dog whimpered as it hit the pavement, but it quickly scrambled to its feet and turned its gaze back to Olivia, its amber eyes filled with intelligence that sent shivers down her spine. Moments later, the sound of sirens grew louder. The police arrived, and Olivia frantically explained what had happened. The officers searched the area, but found no sign of the attacker. One of them, Officer Reynolds, looked down at the stray dog and whistled. "Well, looks like you owe this little guy your life," he said, kneeling beside the dog and scratching behind its ears. The dog wagged its tail weakly, its body trembling from exhaustion. Olivia's heart ached as she looked at her savior. It was just a stray, a nameless creature roaming the streets, yet it had risked its life for her. She made a decision right then and there. Days passed, and Olivia couldn't shake the memory of that night. She had taken the dog to a vet, where they treated its minor wounds and gave it a clean bill of health. She named him Shadow, a fitting name for the silent guardian who had appeared from the darkness to save her. Shadow quickly became part of her life. He followed her everywhere, his protective instincts always on high alert. But something about him was different. He was too intelligent, too aware, almost as if he understood everything happening around him. One night, as Olivia sat on her couch, flipping through the news, a breaking report flashed across the screen. Her blood turned to ice. Police still searching for the serial attacker targeting women in the downtown area. Authorities warned that he remains at large. A photo of the suspect appeared on the screen. The same hooded figure who had tried to attack her that night. Her hands trembled. If it hadn't been for Shadow, she could have been another victim. Shadow, sensing her distress, rested his head on her lap and let out a low, comforting whine. Olivia stroked his fur, her mind racing. The news anchor continued speaking, mentioning an eerie detail. Each victim had reported seeing a stray dog nearby before they were attacked, but none had survived to tell the full story. Olivia's breath caught in her throat. Was Shadow more than just a dog? Had he been watching over others before her? A chill ran down her spine as she met his amber gaze. She suddenly realized the truth. Shadow hadn't just saved her. He had been hunting the attacker all along, and he wasn't done yet. That night, Olivia found it hard to sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Shadow's amber eyes glowing in the darkness. She tossed and turned, her mind replaying every moment of the attack. There was something deeply unsettling about how Shadow had appeared at just the right moment. Unable to sleep, she got out of bed and walked over to the window. Outside, Shadow sat on the porch, staring into the distance, his ears perked up as if listening for something. Olivia watched him for a while, then turned away with a sigh. A sudden growl made her spin around. Shadow had risen to his feet, his body tense. His growl deepened, and then, in an instant, he bolted off into the darkness. Heart pounding, Olivia grabbed a flashlight and rushed outside. She called his name, but he was already gone. She followed his footprints in the wet grass, leading her to the edge of a wooded area behind her house. Fear clawed at her chest, but she couldn't turn back. Then she heard it, a scream, a blood-curdling, desperate scream that echoed through the trees. Olivia's breath hitched, and she took a shaky step forward. A minute later, silence fell. Then rustling. Shadow emerged in the shadows, his fur bristling, his mouth stained with something dark. His amber eyes glowed eerily in the moonlight. He walked past Olivia and back toward the house. His posture relaxed as if nothing had happened. The news the next morning confirmed it. The serial attacker had been found, or rather, what was left of him.